All right, I'm here to talk to you guys about concussions. They're very dangerous and complicated things that affect hundreds of athletes a year. They come in different forms and they cause different effects, short and long term. Today, I'm going to talk about what a concussion is, the effects they have on the body, and then the long term effects that you have to deal with later down the road. The definition of a concussion is a jolt, hit, or something that stretches or damages the brain. This can cause bruising and different effects to the body. It's a huge problem in the NFL because of how much contact there is in the game and how there's so many opportunities for the brain to be affected, and it causes a lot of risk. In 2014, after they invested over $100 million in concussion research, they thought they solved the problem. It was a 50% decline in the amount of concussions per year. But in the next year, it grew 60% in the amount of concussions per year. And then after that, it grew 40. So they thought that they fixed it, and instead it almost doubled within 2 years, causing more damage. It really affects players because it causes things like irritability, anger, and not able to concentrate. So some of these athletes are not able to continue their daily lives because the injuries are getting on the field, and it's very common where over 30% of the NFL is getting one a year. So if every year over 30% is getting it, then by the end of the year, a large majority is going to end up with these problems that they have to deal with in life. The short-term effects are irritability, loss of memory, and irritability, loss of memory, and unable to stand noises and lights. The NFL is doing a lot of things to change how this happens. According to PBSO, they put over $1 million into research in 2015 to see how the brain is affecting to the damage, and they're changing rules. They moved kickoff 5 yards closer because they hope that they don't allow the players to get up to high speeds and hit each other, and that really cut down on them. They changed different rules to where if a player is considered defenseless, he cannot be hit, and that saves different receivers and players running around the field. And it makes defenses and other people that lay the hits that cause the concussions more careful. So not everybody's getting injuries easy. They really lock down on helmet-to-helmet contacts. That's the number one cause of concussions in football, is when two people's helmets hit together. It's dangerous. It's not fun. I've experienced it. It's not something you want to do. It's very painful. They moved the referees because they wanted them to have a better view on these hits, so they're able to call them. They allow referees to now review plays if they don't know what's going on, because it used to be that if they didn't see it happen, then they couldn't call it effectively. Now they can look over it and check themselves. If a helmet is off, the player automatically has to stop. And before this rule, if a helmet came off, the play kept going, and this caused hits where people were not able to defend themselves because they weren't fully geared. All right. We're going to talk about the long-term effects now. The long-term effects can change between people. The big problem that you'll see a lot if you watch SportsCenter or anything is CTE. It's damage in the brain where they haven't figured out exactly what it's doing yet, so that makes it even worse. That we know it's a thing, and we know it's about 90% of retired football players, but they don't know how it's getting there. They don't know what it's doing. They know that after a while, the pain, you can have constant headaches and migraines that you cannot control. It causes depression in players. It causes irritability. It causes long-term and short-term memory loss, and it causes, from the depression and all the other things, there's been a high rate of ex-football players committing suicide. And that's why they're investing so much money every year to try to make this an easier thing for these players who use their career, and then afterwards they're paying the effects, and so are their families. All right. In conclusion, we talked about the short-term effects and what a concussion is. We talked about what the NFL is doing to help fix concussions and stop the problem. And we're talking about what it's doing to players after the game and how it's affecting their daily lives. Thank you for listening.